I was very fortunate early in my business career to have some great mentors, and the best of all was a gentleman named Jim Kerr. I came to work for Jim down in Dallas in 1977. Jim was the consummate professional, and he taught us all how to do our job better. One of the biggest things he taught us was every year, early in January, he would meet with us and he told us to prepare for it. He wanted to see what we did the previous year, what were the strong points, the weak points, what were we going to do different next year. What he wanted us to do was make the plan, and then we were going to work the plan. So what we would do is take a very close look at the operations, and I remember one thing that stood out to me early on. Back in those days, it was before cell phones, voice messages, and fax machines. So a lot of times you had to get up early in the morning and get on the phone with the factory to find out what the status of orders were. So as a net result of that was there were a lot of days you didn't make your first sales call till 10 or 11 o'clock. And so it limited your exposure in front of the customer. So I remember one year I told Jim, I said, I'm going to do my best to do my run, get shaved, showered, dressed, ready to go, and get on the phone with the factory when they open at 7 o'clock in the morning. That way I could get all my business taken care of at the factory, with the goal to be in my customer making my first sales call at 9 o'clock in the morning. Now it did take some work to get there, but by working that plan I was able to get an extra call at least every day. In addition to that, I made a promise to myself that I was going to make my last sales call to start no later than 4 o'clock, but after 3 for sure. That got me in 2 extra calls per day. And as a result, it wasn't much longer after that I was salesman of the year for the district, and went back to corporate for the awards ceremony. A lot of it was thanks to Jim Kerr. Make the plan, work the plan. So in talking to one of the general managers, he was saying, I don't think we do a good enough job preparing. So let's talk about some preparation, and let's look at one area for sales and one for service where you can help yourself. Let's talk a little bit about sales. I sold cars, for 13 years. And one of the things that I used to do is prepare for my phone call. Now I talk to a lot of salespeople, it doesn't matter what industry, and after the sale they feel uncomfortable making the phone call. And I talk to them and I ask them, what do you feel uncomfortable about? A lot of them say the first thing is, I'm afraid there's something wrong with the unit, there's going to be a problem, I'm going to have to address it. They're going to have cold feet, they're going to want to back out of the deal. All the excuses that you can come up with. You know what my comment to them is? Wouldn't it be better to address those things with the customer on your terms, resolve them before they become an issue? Or do you want to wait till the customer comes driving in with their unit, wants to drop it off and say, I'm going to give it back to you? Again, don't be afraid to make those phone calls. So taking a look at after sales phone calls, there's a few things that you should do, and this is probably the order. Number one, thank them for their business. Rarely do salespeople, regardless of the industry, retail, any place, rarely do they thank people for their business. So I would start by thanking the business. Mr. Smith, this is Ed calling from Powersports Incorporated. I just wanted to call today and say thank you for your purchase. I very much appreciate your business. That's where you start with, because a lot of your competitors are not going to start that way, and by you making the phone call and thanking them for their business is going to set you aside from your competition. Number two, when I was in college, Jean Beamendorfer had her from Marketing 101, and I remember one of the things that she talked about in those days is what they called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is what we call today buyer's remorse. Customers second-guessing their business decisions, second-guessing their purchase decision. So the number two part, key goal of the phone call, is to make them feel that and reassure them they made the right decision. So what I might say to is, Mr. Smith, thank you very much for your business. Are you loving your VRP side by side? Isn't it the greatest thing? Didn't it meet your total expectation? When you came in, you told me you were looking for something for your ranch that had plenty of power. Have you had a chance to drive it? Don't have any problem getting up the hills in this thing, do you? Part of that also is to reassure them that they made the right decision on any ads they put into it. So you have to do a little bit of research and know what they put in. Hey, Mr. Smith, and how are you loving that sound system? I bet the kids love it. They probably want to drive it more than you do for your ranch work. You made the right decision. You know, I think what you're going to really like is that sound system with the built-in GPS system. It's going to tell you exactly where you are in the ranch, and if you have something that you have to address, you can mark the territory so that you know exactly where you're going to and get back there quickly. In addition to that, I really like the emergency GPS that's in it. That's a great feature. And boy, that sound system isn't it outstanding? I think you made the right decision when you put the roof on it with the built-in speakers. That's going to give you a good sound system. You're going to be able to hear the music well. I think the kids are going to love it when they're out on their own with it, enjoying it out on the ranch. Made the right decision. Perfect purchase for you. And I know that winch, you're going to love the winch that you purchased. I think it's very cost effective. It's going to be helping pulling stumps out and doing other pulling activities. I know you're going to love it. Make them feel good that they made the right decision, because they are second guessing it. The third thing that you need to ask them is, how's the vehicle running? So Mr. Smith, I know you haven't had it for long, but if you had a chance to really drive it around very much, what do you think of its performance? How does it sound? How does it feel? Ask those sensory questions. Get them to have them picture themselves behind the seat. Make them again feel good about the purchase. And then the fourth thing I always wanted to do when I was selling was to reassure the customer they made the right decision by coming to me for their purchase. So I would say something like, Mr. Smith, again, in addition, I would just hope you get the impression, I'm here to take care of your long-term needs. I just don't want to sell you the unit. Powersports Incorporated, we're here to take care of your purchase for the whole time that you own it, and take care of any future purchases you have. So part of that's why we introduced you to parts and service. And it's very important to take care of your investment and make sure that you maintain it. That 100-hour service on the BRP unit is very key. So make sure that you bring it in. And as Jim told you, the service advisor, went over the features, the things that you're going to be taking care of. Is very important. While you were here, did you schedule that 100-hour appointment? Oh, I understand. It's hard to judge how long it's going to take to get to that. But, why don't we do this? Why don't you give me an estimate of how many hours? But why don't we pick something that's maybe 3 months out? We'll give you a call and check. And if you're running on track and it looks like you're going to hit the 100 hours, we'll schedule and firm up the appointment. Would that work for you? Great. Again, Mr. Smith, thank you for your business. You're really going to love this BRP side-by-side. You have a great day. So again, touching on those things, but the four major things. Thank them for their business. Reassure them that they made the right purchase. Ask them how they've enjoyed the ride, or if there have been any issues. If there are, you can address them. And fourth, to reassure them that you're going to be their long-term supplier and take care of them. It's not just selling them, it's taking care of it long-term. Now let's look at it from the service advisor side of the business. That's very important too. If I was a service advisor, I would be calling all of my customers within a couple of days after they picked up their vehicle from service. I think it's key because, again, you're going to separate yourself from the competition. It's funny, I have 12 stores that I deal with. I've asked every single advisor, do you make a phone call after service to see how the customer is? And the best answer I ever got, or the most positive one I got, well, I do it sometimes. Again, I think service advisors are a little bit nervous that the unit didn't get fixed right, that there's something wrong with it. They're going to have a heat case to have to deal with it. But again, like service, like sales, would you rather wait till the customer calls you with a complaint and they're all upset, or would you like to address it in the front end? So again, you have to prepare for that phone call. Don't talk in generalities, talk about specifics. Again, thank them for their business. Acknowledge the work that you did on it. Make sure it's been corrected. 3, ask them if there's anything that they forgot to tell you about that they may want you to take care of. And then 4, work on the service appointment going forward and those things that you're going to take care of. So that call might go something like this. Mr. Smith, this is Ed from Powersports Incorporated. I wanted to thank you for your business. You had it in for service yesterday. You brought it in for a clunking noise. Looks like we replaced we serviced the rear differential, replaced the fluid in it. We did a test drive. Everything looks fine on that. Are you noticing anything, any problems with it since you've been driving it? No? Great. While you were here, we also did an oil change. We replaced the tires. You do looks like you do a lot more trail riding, so we put the better tires that are better for the trail ride. I'm sure that you'll enjoy that ride. If you had a chance to notice it going up and down rocks, how's the ride? Great. Was there anything that you forgot to tell me about that you'd like to, that you forgot to tell me about that's bothering you with the vehicle? If there is, we can schedule it and bring it in. Everything's fine now? Great. Lastly, I just wanted to remind you we did the vehicle inspection report. We did the physical on your vehicle. Most everything was within specifications. Your tires were out, but we replaced those. Just keep in mind on your next service, which will be in another 50 hours, it'll be a major service. We'll be taking care of the transmission at that point. We'll be doing an oil change and tire rotation. But keep in mind, we mentioned to you that your pads are at 4 millimeters. We typically recommend replacing those no later than 2 millimeters. So your next service, they should be ready for service. We want to get that taken care of so we don't wear into your rotors, and that would cost you an extra $200 or $300. Great. We'll keep that in mind. Would you like to schedule that appointment? I know it's hard to judge exactly how many hours and miles. And how about if I give you a call in 2 months? We'll see where you are, and then we can schedule that service at that point. Would that work for you? Great. I'll plan on giving you a call the week of the 16th of August. That work for you? Great. I'll be looking forward to talking to you. Again, Mr. Smith, we're here to take care of your long-term. It's not just the purchase, but it's also the service, and protect your investment long-term. Thanks again for your business. By the way, if you know anybody else who's got similar units to you, whether it be watercraft, side-by-sides, motorcycles, I'd love to take care of them and just give them the exact same service I've given to you. Great. Just have them give me a call. You have an outstanding week. By making that call, it didn't take that long, a few minutes with the customer. You're addressing any potential issues, you're thanking them for their business, and you're making sure you took good care of them. Again, to have a call like that, you have to do your preparation. Again, my name is Ed Stefanko. I'm one of the trainers with the BRP Quality Service Program. I work for you. You can always reach me at 817-896-3183. If you have any questions, concerns, wondering how to handle something, feel free to give me a call. I may not have all the answers, but I have a lot of resources and friends in the business who will be able to give us some suggestions and some help. Again, I want you to make you as successful as possible so you can make as much money as you can, that your business increases through repeat business and referrals. Thanks for your time. Have an outstanding week.
That's all, folks.